Happy Friday, and welcome to Senior Solutions with your Heiar Insurance team. This is a paid program. Advice and opinions expressed during the program are solely that of Heiar Insurance, not WBEV or Good Karma Brands. Sorry you don't get to rock out anymore to your sunglasses song there, Matt. You are back from vacation. Matt Heiar joining us here in the Slumberland Furniture Studios and the Daily Dodge TV studios. And when I asked him what we should kick off the show with, you're like, sunglasses at night.
Yes.
You are still a little bit in vacation mode. You got tan.
Yeah.
Wow.
Florida does that.
It has a way of making that happen. How was your holiday?
It was great. It was very warm. You know, obviously not like what we left. But yes, and my mom's like, oh, do you want to golf? Do you want to do this? I'll schedule you tea time. And it looked miserable out there.
Did it really?
Yes. So it was a lot of pool.
Oh, nice. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
And just hanging out on the beach. Did you get in some good beach time?
No beach time.
Oh, man.
Pool time.
Cocktail time?
Maybe a little bit of that.
Insurance time?
Yes, I went with another insurance agent. So like our spouses kept saying like, okay, that's enough talking about insurance.
Yeah, you don't need to be on the clock. It's vacation time.
I know.
Let's go grab a mimosa.
It's just natural though. Like even when I talk with my mom, like my siblings just kind of walk away. You know, they're like, oh, okay, yeah.
Well, that really shows that you really love what you do at Heiar Insurance. And I did have a chance to see your mom earlier this week. She was at the Boathouse in Fox Lake for our final stop of the poker run. She didn't participate, so she didn't win, but she was there cheering everybody on. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, she would only had one card, so I don't think she would have won.
No, even if it was a good one. We hit the air with your Heiar Insurance team every Friday at 11:10 with Senior Solutions to help you with big things that can be really intimidating, but they don't have to be, because along with Matt, Jill, your MVP, you've got your mom, Sandy, you've got Carrie right there at the front. You've got it covered with what people need help with when it comes to planning properly for retirement, helping folks navigate through Medicare, and understanding what their insurance options are for what they need. And we also invite folks to give us a call if they have questions. They need some advice from the Tan Matt Heiar. Our studio lines are open for you at 885-4446, 885-4446. And you can also text at 887-9595. Text line is 887-9595. As usual, before we hit the air together, I always ask, is there anything out of the ordinary you want to talk about today, Matt? And today you said what?
Whatever we talk about.
Whatever people need help with, definitely. And you always kind of tease me a little bit when I mention that I get my new AARP magazine and my newsletter. But, you know, I had shared with you before you left for your holiday, they're always fun to go through because you always learn things. But scams right there on the front cover of the newsletter. You also help folks when they have questions about the legitimacy of something that they have either received in the mail or a phone call that they might have received, because there are certain agencies that it's either very rare they're going to call or they're never going to call.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, Prompted, the big Social Security scam, you know, that's been one for years now, and Social Security does call you sometimes. Mm-hmm. But it's prompted by you doing something. So it would be either you had like a life event, like a death in the family, or like your spouse turned on Social Security, so you might qualify for a benefit, you know, through your spouse. So there is certain times they do call. But if they do call, it's typically from a Chicago number, because Chicago does all the processing in the Midwest. And they also say that they are their name, their first and last name, their extension. And then when you call, it doesn't say this is Chicago Social Security. It says this is the Chicago Processing Center or something like that. But it says when you type in that extension, it's actually that person's name. It always goes to voicemail. They're not standing by. But typically, and they will send you something in the mail also. So if you still don't feel confident about it, which some people don't, you can call your local office, which we've had problems with Fond du Lac lately.
Oh, how so?
They're just very short-staffed.
Okay, that's still happening.
Ever since the pandemic, it's been tough. I just had a client last week go there, and they said that they walked in, and there was a security guard.
Okay.
And then one employee.
Oh, no.
Yes, I feel bad for that employee.
Absolutely.
So
you're literally on the front lines, and people, they're not always the most patient.
Correct. Yeah, your guard is up right away when you walk
Yeah.
into certain places like that. Or
How
the
long am I going to be here?
The DMV.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So I feel that vibe there when I have to go in. Yeah. So just be patient.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where, so, if you want to check the legitimacy of the call, you can totally just go to your local office or call them, but you don't have to just call. Like if you have a question, you could call the Portage office, the West Bend office, and they can answer your question. But like for actually getting things done, like scheduling appointments or anything, they would just schedule you one for Fond du Lac.
Okay. And it's easy for folks that want to come in and sit down with you and the rest of the Heiar insurance team. They can make those calls. MVP Jill is standing by at what number?
At 920-887-0580.
And
Jinx.
That was stupid.
You owe me a
Jill.
Coke.
Oh my goodness. Here you go.
My kids started doing that now.
That's a thing?
yeah.
You owe me a Coke?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that.
Really? When you say Jinx?
Okay, so it's a new Jinx thing. All right.
Oh, that was my childhood.
Okay, Ninja's snickering from behind the big monitor.
See, he understands.
So, now do you even remember what you wanted to say after all that?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's why I preach so much, like, when we start retirement planning with people, is to get that account on SSA.gov.
Okay.
Because that's our number one source to say, what is our first predictable income that we're going to be seeing?
Oh boy, just the thought of that makes me shiver a little bit.
Well, yeah, and it's not fun to sign up for. Sometimes it goes perfectly, as always, and sometimes it doesn't. Whether you have a hyphenated name,
Okay.
Whether your address is different. I mean, lately I've had so many people like, like that's like me, like Social Security saying like, oh, your name is Matt. It's like, no, my name's Matthew.
Uh-oh.
But we have to go. I have to type in your name wrong if that's what they have.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
It has to be an exact representation. Did your mom have an issue like her last name was misspelled or something like that?
No, it was Sandra and Sandy.
Oh, okay. So
Yes.
similar.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so that's where it could be a problem. But even when we sign you up for Medicare, when we sign you up for, insurance, we have to copy whatever the government has you at.
Okay.
So I know we
Makes
don't.
sense.
It does, but it's very hard to switch it. You have to go physically there, or you have to mail like your driver's license, like, different forms of identity. Your actual driver's license.
Well, what are you supposed to? Oh, I bet you go to the DMV. You be patient waiting there. Maybe they could give you a printout, like when you're waiting for your new license.
Social Security said that you could just take a copy of your
Okay.
driver's license if you get pulled over. Hopefully, you don't get pulled over. And
Hopefully not.
Social Security does return anything. Like that's why if you qualify for benefits as a spouse, they might want, or an ex-spouse, they might want the divorce decree, original documents,
Okay.
birth certificates, original documents with the seal on it.
Yeah, I can't supply that. I need to re-up my passport. I don't know how that happened the first time because it has me being born in like 1940 something.
That's right.
Yeah. So I'll jump that hurdle.
You've been on
when
Medicare
it's
for 13
necessary.
years.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah, no, it's so. I mean, there's just little things, and the one thing is when people call me and they're like, "Hey, you signed me up, a month ago, and I haven't got anything."
Okay.
And I'm like,
You get worried, like, oh my goodness, how long is this going to take to get lost?
Well, and that's why I feel like a politician when I answer the question.
How do you answer the question?
Because I'm just like, well, because I can't give them a definitive answer. Like,
Right.
well, it's probably because of this. Like end of the year, I can say like, oh, a lot of people sign up for Social Security, Medicare, retire at that time, so they're backlogged.
Sure.
But like, I just had an instance where I signed up a husband and wife, and the husband was getting correspondence and getting a reward letter saying, yep, you're going to start getting this much starting this date, and she got nothing.
Oh no.
Yes, and I signed them up 10 minutes apart. So that's why there's no, I don't have an answer for you, and I hate saying that. Like,
How the cookie crumbles.
yes, and so you can call there, which that's like watching paint dry.
Yeah. Again, patient. Be patient.
Yeah, so that's why, like normally when you come in and you have a question about insurance or something, we get to the bottom of it, we get you an answer. With Social Security, I'm like, it's tough, but
Waiting is the hardest part.
it is, and that's why to expedite, appointments and stuff like that, signing up for Medicare, signing up for Social Security, if you create that account, that'd be great. That's a great step, so we can just come in, we'll put it up on the big screen, we can go through the applications, so you can physically see it. You don't have to call Social Security.
Nice.
So, and I feel, and I don't charge for it. and it's just a service we provide because I actually feel more comfortable doing it. I always tell people, you can yell at me if it's wrong, because it's just, I know it's done. I do it all the time. Have we had unique situations? Absolutely. But we learn from them, hopefully. But the whole time frame, I can't justify what's going on, what happened. That one that I just spoke about, the husband and wife, they called and all of a sudden it randomly got processed.
Okay, good.
So we assumed,
huge sigh of relief.
we assumed it might have got put to the side,
Okay.
which that's not good either, but
Well, I can't imagine the influx of all of that paperwork coming in and all of those requests. It has to be nonstop.
oh yes, absolutely. It's a lot, there's quite the process, but that's where Social Security app is pretty simple. Name, date of birth, where you're born, your job, the employment history. And then where it gets tricky, it says, are you married? Yes or no. And then it
Why
says,
is that tricky?
well,
Are you married? Yes or no?
it's marriage, No,
That's right. It's very
Yeah.
complicated. We know these things.
they said get married.
It'll be great.
No, it was more so, then they ask any prior marriages.
Oh, okay. This is where the complicating stuff comes
Yes,
in. All
and
right.
then it's, if you say yes, did the marriage last longer than 10 years? That is the key. So there's two questions that really extend the application.
Okay.
A marriage that lasted longer than 10 years or a marriage that ended due to a spouse's death.
Okay.
Because you could qualify for benefits through a spouse. And I guess the government says if you put up with an ex-spouse for 10 years,
You're entitled.
you're eligible to potentially get something.
Okay.
So it doesn't mean you always do, but that's where we need your ex-spouse's or widowed spouse's Social Security number, date of birth, name at birth, maiden name
Okay.
basically. It's a lot easier for males. We need their date of marriage, date of divorce, or date of death. So these are all things people are like, I never want to talk to that person again.
Right, but sadly, you might have to go back and actually acknowledge those big life events.
Yes, and typically a lot of that stuff, besides the Social Security number, is typically in the divorce decree.
Okay.
So and then after we get all that, because the more we fill out, the quicker things go. Because you don't have to put the Social Security number. You can click unavailable, but then they might request it.
Oh boy. So maybe just send it along, get it
Yes.
all together.
Or ask the kids, it's really tough. And that's where it kind of gets into there. So we're trying to get better with, prepping people. Like when they set the appointment up, I want to sign up for Social Security. Do you have an account? And they'll be like, yes or no. And, if they always ask what they need to bring. Everyone always brings their Social Security card.
Okay.
And it's like, no, if you know the number, you're good.
Don't take that out of the house. Just leave it in the safe.
Yes, I would recommend that. But there's a lot of different scenarios where, we might have to, and we can stop the app. We can pause it and save it and come back to it. So, and that does happen a lot when we get to that part right there, because I would rather have the most information possible for them so it can process much quicker. And as soon as I say that, it'll take forever to process. So there's no right or wrong answer, but, just signing up, like if someone is in a need and they like say, hey, I'm starting June 1st for Medicare, I want to sign up for Medicare and Social Security, I typically will just sign them up for Social Security. Or, I'm sorry, Medicare. Because it's a little bit quicker of a process.
Okay.
I always say the government works a little faster when they start taking money from you.
Well, I
It's a theory.
You're not wrong.
It's a theory. But then once your Medicare is processed, where we can get you signed up for insurance and stuff, then we'll go right back in and sign you up for Social Security.
Okay.
So you can't have two apps processing at the same time. So we always go with the quicker one first.
Sure. That makes sense.
Because Medicare's slightly different for the process of signing up than it is for Social Security. So for Medicare, we always hear 90 days. Come in 90 days prior, right? That's our golden time.
Magical countdown number.
Yep. Oh, do we have to read that
Nope,
yet?
not quite yet. Just
All right.
getting prepared. Thank you, Matt. Matt Heiar is such a good co-host.
Yeah. We work well together. No,
We do.
But going back to, so 90 days prior, Medicare, yes, we want to sign you up. The soonest we can sign you up for Medicare is 90 days prior for a start date, 90 days from there. And we want that to make sure we have those numbers. For Social Security, like if you wanted to start it in July, we could do it 90 days prior, absolutely. But you could also come in July, and we can still give you July because that's your entitlement month. That's the month you started the application.
Well, entitlement month sounds pretty good.
Yes. And another thing that people don't realize is when we sign up for Social Security, you want to start it in July because that's when you're retiring. Your July check will not come until August.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like, what do I do with that month?
What do you do with that month?
Yes. Well, it happens if you pass away, they don't want to pay a dead person.
No, of course not. Right.
Yeah. Thank you. And
Then they're paying attention to the details and expediting things quickly.
they will take the money back.
Oh.
Like if it gets direct deposited, they will just go right into the bank account and withdraw it.
Okay.
So do not spend it. If you see it there, make sure. So that's a little scary thing, but
Yeah, don't miss a beat.
But I guess now we can read the disclaimer, right?
Oh, we'd be 3 minutes early.
Okay, we better
Okay,
wait.
so we'll share some numbers and remind people who you are and why you're here. Would that be okay?
That's a great idea.
Excellent. Matt Heiar with your Heiar Insurance team with us today for Senior Solutions. We are live in the Slumberland Furniture Studios and also the Daily Dodge TV studios as we stream live on dailydodge.com. Studio lines open for your questions at 885-4446. 885-4446. And of course, you can also text those in at 887-9595. 887-9595 is the text line. And, as soon as I mentioned Slumberland Furniture Studios, brats. It's our big brat fry today in your neck of the woods because Stacy at Slumberland, right there around the corner, where the Heiar Insurance office is located at the Heritage Mall in Beaver Dam. My tummy is also grumbling. I did not have breakfast. Did you have anything for breakfast?
I did not.
Well, I think a brat for lunch or maybe two sound pretty dang good. That tasty premium Pernat brat and a bevy for only $2. You can enjoy that until 1:00 at Slumberland Furniture in Beaver Dam. And I thought I almost lost this disclaimer. I still don't know it by heart. This is a paid program. Advice and opinions expressed during the program are solely that of Heiar Insurance, not WBEV or Good Karma Brands.
Well played.
Thank you very much. Since, our brat fry really is in your neck of the woods in the neighborhood, will you be popping over there to say, hey, Stacy, hey, everybody from Slumberland and
Hey, hey.
95.3 W? That's exactly what she does.
Yep. Hey,
You
hey.
should do that. Do you ever say that to her when you see her?
No.
Today could be your day, Matt Heiar.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I have to go to Slumberland. I have a hole in my couch.
What?
Yeah. Well, it's always been there. I just, when you have kids,
Yeah.
you never want anything nice.
Have kids, they said.
Yep,
It'll
and
be great.
So I think they're starting to get to the age where they know not to eat in the living room.
Okay.
Does that mean they will do that?
Of course not. No, you are a very smart man. You know better than to entertain the thought of
Oh, yes.
what you are trying to be kind of, nice about.
So I'll be like, direct me to your stain-proof stuff.
Absolutely. And they're going to have a nice selection of stuff over there.
Oh, absolutely.
Matt Heiar with your Heiar Insurance team with us here today for Senior Solutions. And this is the time we get together every Friday so Matt can help answer questions for you, let you know what you need to be prepared for when you go into the Heiar Insurance office for that first meeting. And what should people know, especially when they're coming in, to just talk about retirement. And I know it goes two ways because you do have some folks that, I'm retiring in a few weeks. And then other folks will give that nice, like a few months, for that conversation to happen and those ideas to simmer how to do everything.
Yeah, I mean, basically, we kind of have a checklist, that we go through. Sometimes we go through it quicker, like you said. But retirement is a word. We always preach that to people. Like it doesn't mean it's the last time you punch a clock, but now you're doing it on your terms.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there is checklists, like how's our estate plan looking? Do we have a will or trust? Do we have power of attorneys? Do we have beneficiaries listed on everything? These are very important things if something sudden happens.
Very important.
And then that's where it's like, do you have a 401k? Like what is our plans with this? What is our income plan? How much do we need in retirement? What are you going to do in retirement?
So many questions.
But it's your book and you get to write it.
Oh,
and that's why those first appointments are really fun.
That is fun.
And it's also getting to know each other to see if we are fit for retirement.
Sure.
Because obviously not everything is a match made in heaven.
No, and it's a personal relationship when you are, helping someone plan their retirement, because you have to know so many personal things that can really make a lot of us uncomfortable.
Absolutely. And that's where, if we are fit, that's great, but there's nothing signed like a contract where it's like,
You're committed now.
full retirement. Sorry. It's just me and you now. And no, it's absolutely, but that's why we always preach, like we can look at your current portfolio income plan, stress test it, with our technology.
Stress test it with technology. What is that?
Well, we have certain programs and stuff that we can stress test it. We can take your portfolio and match.
Like put it in different scenarios?
Yes, like the 1929 crash.
Okay.
The .com crash, the '08, the housing market crash. And just to see like what your income and what you would have had to do, at those times.
That's a good exercise.
It's so fun. I just play with it all the time. I found out I have to keep working.
Yes.
So I do it with mine. But yeah, it's just really cool just to, the technology we have nowadays, to give people that peace of mind. And that's why we put it up on the screen and show you. And that gives people that little, I feel like a therapist.
I can understand why.
Because it's scary, like that 401k, the market went up, the market went down, and you hear people talking about it, friends and family, and you're like, oh, yeah, I'm still going to work, So it's not a big deal, but it looks like fake money, right? It's just you get your quarterly statement and like, oh, yeah, sure. But all of a sudden, once the checks stop coming in, you just
reality.
made a face.
I know I did, and I sat up straighter.
Right. But that's where if we plan accordingly, we have the Social Security coming, we signed up a month earlier to make sure you get it when your checks stop coming in. What is our income shortage? Where are our income sources coming from? What's the taxable situation? So that's why stress testing it, because say we averaged you, 10%, a year, that's great. Absolutely. But if you run out of money at 80, did we really do our job?
No.
Exactly.
And people are living a lot longer.
Yes. And that same thing, we kept your income, for life, and you didn't outlive your money, but you paid 10% more in taxes. Did we do our job? Advise you the right way? And these are huge things when it comes to retirement. It's not just, all right, I got enough money. Good. It's like, all right, how much did we give to Uncle Sam? What other strategies could we have implemented? And that's why everyone's different. And it's really cool just, kind of building these plans and executing them and changing them on the fly and, like having our emergency funds, it's like, oh, we planned for this. Don't worry, and it's a good,
it's a great feeling.
It really is. And, but yeah, sometimes we have to just actually like direct deposit some money into an account, even if it's $50, to show people like, yes, it is real.
Yeah.
And it will come and we can relax, but everyone's different, and that's why retirement planning is really fun. So if anyone ever wants to, have us look at their portfolios, talk about 401k rollovers, or different, products that we, provide for people, you can give us a call at 920-887-0580. Jill is standing by.
MVP Jill is standing by.
Yes.
Our friend and neighbor Craig Caston with Dodge County Center for the Arts was with us this morning on Hometown Today. And during one of our commercial breaks, he shared that Gary really enjoyed being a part of Senior Solutions a couple of weeks ago. So that was really nice. You have such a great team there. But every time we say Jill's name, we have to say MVP Jill.
Oh, yes.
Okay. See, you get a little bossy with the disclaimer. I get a little protective of Jill.
Okay. Well,
Matt Heiar.
she's watching.
She is. Oh, my goodness. Yes, and people can watch us. We are in the Daily Dodge TV studios today, so please check out the stream at dailydodge.com. And, of course, also broadcasting from the Slumberland Furniture Studios on 95.3 WBEV. That's where our big brat fry is happening until 1 o'clock today. So for $2, head on over to Slumberland in Beaver Dam. Say hello to Stacy and the team and enjoy that tasty premium Pernat brat and a beverage for only $2. Best deal of the day.
It is.
It really is.
It's hard to find a meal that cheap.
So, and they're good, too.
I want to say school lunch might be more expensive than that.
School lunch was 45 cents when I was in grade school in the 70s.
In 1940.
1943.
Well, what's your birth certificate say again?
It does say something like, I'll bust it out and share it with you guys.
Okay.
We'll show it on Daily Dodge TV, but I think it's either 1943 or 1945.
Wow.
Yeah. Do you remember what school lunch cost when you were going to grade school?
No. I can't even.
Now it's all fancy. They get to get things a la carte and pick and choose. And then we have to make sure our lunch accounts have enough money in them. So, yeah, times have changed a lot.
Oh, yes. And like we always, back in the day, like we would bring cold lunch because it would save money. And it's like, actually, it's cheaper to eat at school.
Well, and the fun of cold lunch was that you could always make a trade. If somebody had something better, like you didn't want, my mom would always pack things that I didn't really want to eat. So there was a lot of trading going on at the lunch table.
Yeah, no one would ever trade with me. You don't want a bag of grapes, But no,
You don't want a can of sardines?
Yeah, well, and that's why the kids, I'm like, whoa, what'd you eat today for lunch? And choice A, I'm like.
And that would be?
So I think my oldest actually, there's one item, it's like chips and salsa and cheese cubes.
Okay.
And he gets it every day it's possible.
It's his favorite.
I guess. And
that's
it's like,
what he needs to get him through the day.
I was like, that's a snack. He's like, no, I ate it. It's good. And I was like, okay. I mean, whatever.
And you did not take the kids when you were enjoying your holiday down in Florida. It was a grown-up vacation.
Oh, that was interesting.
Was it? Was it weird?
Well, Grandpa and Grandma got to bring them or pick them
Oh,
up.
that's right. Your mom shared that with me when we were at the boathouse in Fox Lake for the poker run on Wednesday.
Yes.
She was hoping you were going to be back on time, for the record. Were you back on time?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah.
And then you had a chance to celebrate Mother's Day.
Yes, we did. And it was, we were tired because we didn't get in till like 2 a.m.
Did you drive or fly?
Oh, okay. we flew, but we were out of Milwaukee.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mitchell Airport. It's one of the good ones. Matt Heiar with your Heiar Insurance team in the Daily Dodge TV studios and the Slumberland Furniture studios with us today. Feel free to give us a call. Studio lines open at 885-4446. And you can text those questions in at 887-9595. We have our friend and neighbor, Craig Caston, with Dodge County Center for the Arts returning. And
his ears must have been
goodness, it looks like he brought us lunch. He went to the world famous brat fry at Slumberland Furniture in Beaver Dam. You can go there too until 1 o'clock today for $2. You get that tasty premium Pernat brat and a beverage. Craig Caston, you are awesome. What a sweetheart. Thank you. I had mentioned to him how much you like the brat fries.
I do.
Because we were all hungry when we were on Hometown Today. And I have a ferocious stomach, so it makes a lot of noise when I get hungry. And Craig was saying how he was going to go over to the brat fry after Hometown Today. And look what he did for us, Matthew.
We got to put an MVP by him now.
Our MVP, Craig Caston, keeping us well fed and hydrated here during Senior Solutions. And certainly call in with your questions at 885-4446. And you can also text at 887-9595. How much willpower do you have? Are you going to be able to just let that sit there?
I was just thinking, I looked at the clock. I was like, oh, man, we got.
No, I think we should bust him out if we promise not to make a mess. We don't have one.
Just die hard, right straight through.
Oh no, you're sweet. We'll wait till after the show.
I can wait till after because
I'm good. We're feeding our faces.
Yeah, I will
thanks,
chomp.
you guys. Yeah, you guys enjoy. What's the scene like over there, Craig? Is it super busy?
Yeah, it's crazy over there. It looks great. And now there's a fire truck over there now.
Okay, so I heard that go by the Daily Dodge TV studios, and you never want to joke about that. When my kids were little, when we would hear a siren, whether it was ambulance or police, it was always, well, someone needs help. But we did hear that, and I was like, my wish was that I hope the grill isn't on fire at the brat fry. So no. Oh my goodness. All right. So breaking news here during Senior Solutions also.
Live news.
Wow. So there is a lot happening during the show today. What else would you like to focus on?
Well, we talked a little bit about retirement, and retirement is just tough to talk about, on the radio because it's just so unique in how we design, your actual individual plans, per person and family. So, Medicare has been a hot topic. It's a frustrating topic at sometimes.
What makes it frustrating? Just because there are so many different pieces to the Medicare puzzle?
Well, I would say the most frustrating part would be just the marketing.
Okay. How so? Because there's so much of it?
Just so much, and everyone's got the best plan, and and it's basically, once again, who you want to work with, because if you have this product and you could go you could purchase that product from any person that does this, and it's the same price, same product. So it's, once again, who you want to work with. But what I have the problem with is they just give you this thick book from the government and say, yep, here's what Medicare is.
Medicare and Me.
Yes. And it's a very dry read, and it's not too informative, and sometimes they don't have some plans in it, and they do have some other plans. They don't update it, very well, and it's very frustrating.
Do you ever have folks show up at the Heiar Insurance office with that book, Medicare and Me, and they're like, I can't get through this. I don't understand this. Like, I don't even want this.
Yeah, they do. They do show up with that a lot. And
Craig Keston, you're like a brat fairy.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank
Have
you.
a great weekend. We appreciate you. Thank you for your thoughtfulness.
A brat
It's really
fairy.
sweet.
Yeah. No.
Do you remember the video for the No Rain song from Blind Melon with the bee girl? We could dress Craig up like, we could get him some wings and he could be our little brat delivery person throughout Dodge County. Now, he's busy enough at Dodge County Center for the Arts, but that was really sweet that he did that.
That was so cool. And the brat fairy, it sounds like a superhero.
It kind of does. Oh my goodness. So it can be really confusing. Like I don't really look forward to the day I get that big Medicare and Me book because it is going to be something to go through.
Yeah, but like there's talking about plans that, because it's, Wisconsin, that's state specific, but it's like plans that aren't even available in our area. So very difficult to understand. But that's where, we try to just simplify it. We do the government stuff like we talked about before, signing up. We do it with our Social Security account. Get that out of the way because I can control the insurance. I can get you temporary cards, policy numbers. So I have, I can give you non-political answers.
There's a lot of comfort in
Yes.
everything you just shared there.
Yeah. And then, basically what it comes down to is you can do an Advantage plan or a supplement. And I know people are like, well, what are those? Well, how does that work? And there's
What are those, Matt, and how do they work?
That's a great question.
Okay, we want to know.
But basically we break it down to affordability, comfort with the plan, networks of doctors, how it's structured, and most importantly, our health, and not so much our health today, because people say that. I haven't been to the doctor in 5 years. That's not necessarily a good thing.
No, don't brag about that.
Yeah, well, I mean that's great, but at the same time, that's not always the best thing. So once we answer those three questions, that's why you pick the plan you pick. And we just, educate you on the differences because no matter what you pick, someone's going to be like, why did you do that? Why didn't you do this?
Everyone's going to have an opinion.
Something about Medicare, if you talk to someone else that's already on Medicare, you should have done what they did because they did it the right way.
Well, and good for them. They're obviously pleased with their choice if they're making a recommendation unsolicited to someone else.
But they could be super happy with their plan that they'd never used.
Oh.
So like...
Because you do find out some surprises when you go to use a plan that you haven't used before, just regarding things that could be in the fine print or something that, might be, and has to be in partnership with something else.
Well, and I almost wish people just came in with a blank slate, but they do talk to people. They do go online. They do read the mailers, or called numbers, and they get these misconceptions. Like, a lot of people always say like, well, Advantage plans are bad. And it's like, why? Yeah, like
even the name sounds like, all right, this is my advantage.
well, and I was like, I have tons of clients on them that love them, or I hear same about supplements. Supplements are bad.
Is it because they buy them and then they don't use them and that's why they're bad?
It could have been a horror story that they heard from someone,
Okay.
Or someone was told, so it's like, it's just misconceptions. It's
Sure.
like, it could be perfect. Or I have people saying like, well, my neighbor told me to come here and they picked this product. Why are you showing me this product? And it's just because it's your affordability, your comfort, your health. But yes, that's why we preach education. We have to show you the pros and cons of each one. Even if tell me that story about how I'm not doing that. And it's like, yeah, well, for me to sleep at night, I just want to show you, what the option is, because it doesn't mean we can't go there in the future.
Right.
So that's why there is no right answer. Once again, talking like a politician. But that's why it's so frustrating because, I have clients that are coming in, or they'll call me like a week after, be like, hey, so I just got this letter and it says this, this, and this. Like, did I make the right decision? And I feel like I didn't do my job then. Like, and some people, it's hard. Like, their head spinning like, whoa, this is a lot. And that's why I just try to put the guard down and say, we're not making decisions today. I'm going to send you home with some literature. You can look it over. It makes great kindling. If you don't have to memorize the stuff we talk about.
But you really have to take it in and sit with it.
You do. So that's why, like in Dodge County this year, there's 39 Advantage plans. I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to show you 39 Advantage plans.
No, we don't have all day, Matt.
I'm just going. Well,
we have brats to eat.
I know.
Did you hear the crinkling of the brat wrapper behind the big screen of the
There's
Daily Dodge
There's someone
TV
behind
studio?
that TV. Lunchtime came early.
Oh my goodness, I love it.
No, it is. This is one of the more difficult shows. Smelling the brats.
I know.
And we just said before the show, we're like, I'm starving.
I know. We're both really hungry. Wow, we're showing great restraint. Okay, so good. Maybe we can get a call and take your mind off of it, okay?
Yeah.
885-4446. 885-4446 is our studio line. And the text line is 887-9595. If you have a question for Matt Heiar with your Heiar Insurance team, this is Senior Solutions. And it really does start, with that education part of the process. And you do want people to take some time to take all that information in. And then they're going to come up with some questions, probably a lot of questions.
Absolutely. And that's why, I'm not a person that calls into the radio, and I do a radio program, but I don't know, something about it. And that's why if you want, you can just call our office at 920-887-0580. We can discuss, retirement, Social Security, Medicare, individualized for you. So it's a little bit easier and you don't have the city listening to you. But there's no such thing as silly questions. I hear this all the time. It's like, you should not know this or else you would have done it yourself, and there's
no need to be embarrassed.
Yes. So that's why people who listen to the show hear me on repeat, basically. Jill always says my one-liners that I say because she hears me say them all the time.
Let's hear one. I take so many notes during Senior Solutions. I've never written down one of your one-liners.
Like there's no right answer. Okay. Always. Now you put me on the spot.
I know. Now I'm writing them down. No right answer.
Oh, gosh.
And Jill is the MVP. That's how it goes. The moment someone asks you something specific on the spot.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10. Now you're blushing. You can see Matt Heiar blush.
Now
you got me stream live on dailydodge.com from the Daily Dodge TV studios.
I do look really red.
Ninja has assured me that the white balance in here is perfect. But you do have a little bit of sunburn, but not quite that much of a sunburn.
Well, it's like hard to even talk about retirement insurance when it's so beautiful out.
I know. It is going to be a gorgeous day, really gorgeous throughout the entire weekend. Mm-hmm. There is a lot that we can do outside and enjoy over the weekend. Do you have big plans?
I will be at a baseball field.
Oh, and I'm laughing because most often when I ask you that, I should just know when I ask you that this time of year that you're going to be at a baseball game.
Yep, I will be visiting Partyville.
Oh, okay. My oldest daughter was there recently for a track meet.
Okay.
So it's not too far from here at all. Do you have to be there at the crack of dawn?
Absolutely.
Have kids, they said. Oh, Matt Heiar with your Heiar Insurance team here in the studio with us for Senior Solutions. We are broadcasting live from the Slumberland Furniture Studios and also the Daily Dodge TV studios at dailydodge.com. And you're probably going to have another brat after we enjoy the ones that Craig Caston so thoughtfully dropped off for us, because when you head back over to the Heiar Insurance office, you are right there at the Heritage Mall, which is where Slumberland Furniture is. That's where our brat fry is happening until 1 o'clock today for $2 to get that tasty per nap brat that Matt and I really want to eat right now, but we don't want to do that on camera. And you also get a beverage included with your $2. And
they smell delicious.
Oh my goodness, they really do. What do you like on your brat? Are you a mustard guy?
It's depends what they have. Like, I'll do sauerkraut, I'll do mustard, pickles and onions. Ketchup and onions. I actually throw pickles on it too. Who cares?
Yeah, same. Mm-hmm.
You name it, I will eat it.
We didn't have a brat proper, did we, when we were at American Family Field?
You sound like you're British. We didn't have a brat proper.
We didn't have a brat proper when we were at American Family Field with our friend Rob Mielek, who will be with us Monday. But that was a great time on the Milwaukee baseball trip. And we did enjoy some good food at the ballpark.
Absolutely.
We should stop talking about food because my stomach is growling really loudly right now.
Did we get sushi?
Oh, Yeah, we did. At the ballpark. It was really good. It's
better than gas station
It was
sushi.
really good. Oh, my goodness. So, Jill, your MVP standing by at the Heiar Insurance office.
Absolutely. You can call us at 920-887-0580. But just throwing this out, the feeler out, May 31st.
May 31st.
It's for the kids.
Oh, yes,
Are we
for
get-
the kids,
are we-
golf outing. We're doing the show live from
Are
the
we?
Beaver Dam
Okay.
Country Club.
All right.
Yay. Are you going to jump back behind the bar and bartend then for the afternoon after the show? Because you've
No.
got skills. You're familiar with that territory.
I am. That is my course. And but no, I will be doing the radio show and watching the golfers.
It'll be a lot of fun. And that is 2 weeks from today. I can't believe it.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to make sure we had a verification, like we're gonna do this, but we're not gonna do the video, right?
No, I don't think so.
I'm good with that.
Okay, are you sure? Otherwise, we can make that happen for
No.
you. We have mad skills, right, Ninja? Yes, we do. But that will be a great day, and folks can head to dailydodge.com for information how they can get signed up with their foursome, or if they want to be a whole sponsor. Just please come out and enjoy a day of fun with us, and know that it's going to be a lot of fun for the Good Karma Brands John Moser Children's Radiothon.
Yep, silent auction. And,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's a fun time, or even if you just want to come out and get lunch.
Yeah, there's I think it's a chicken and fish buffet that's going to be happening then after the golf outing. So there'll be food. It's going to be really fun. And I've never been there before.
And their chicken is spot on.
Is it really?
Oh, it's so good.
Oh,
I mean, their fish is good too, but their chicken is really good.
We are torturing ourselves. We can't. We are so hungry. We can't
I'm
stop
not
talking
hungry.
about.
Not hungry at all.
Oh my goodness. Yes, so we will enjoy doing Senior Solutions live from the Beaver Dam Country Club 2 weeks from today during It's For the Kids for the John Moser Good Karma Brands Children's Radiothon. That was on my list, honestly, to talk with you about after the show today.
Where's these lists at?
Right here.
You
You
just
see
have
this?
stuff all.
I got stuff all over. Got some things here. I take a lot of notes. So, yeah. It's a
right.
lot to keep track of, Matt.
It is. But it's exciting this weekend with sunny and 75, like ideal weather. And so even if I'm at a baseball field, I will be enjoying.
That is the perfect place to be on a beautiful day at the baseball field.
Oh, golf course. I mean, there's a few other places I could.
And you are wearing a very fancy Arnold Palmer Invitational golf shirt today. It's very nice.
Yeah, people ask like, "Oh, did you go there?" It's like, no, my mom got it for me.
Oh, I think that's really sweet. For folks that perhaps are tuning in to Senior Solutions for the first time, it is a family effort at Heiar Insurance. Your mom, Sandy, started Heiar Insurance many years ago. She is still involved. We have MVP Jill there. Carrie's at the forefront. So when folks walk in to the Heiar Insurance office in the Heritage Mall, they will either see Jill or Carrie or any of you guys, because it really is a true team effort.
Absolutely. And that's what my mom always preached when I first got on board. She's like, educate, and stuff. And then basically, having a team, building a team behind you. So it's not just us. We bounce things off of each other for when it comes to retirement planning, insurance options. So it's really cool just to know that we have support and that you potentially could have, a support team with you also.
Absolutely. And we are coming up on just about our final minute for the show. We have about a minute and a half left. What would you like to focus on during that big 90 seconds?
Big 90 seconds. Well, just
The final countdown.
if you want to retire, just call Heiar.
It's really easy to remember. And
Yep.
I'm not going to sing that, but I love how it rhymes. So when it is time to retire, call Heiar at what number?
At 920-887-0580.
And you can also stop into the Heiar Insurance office in the Heritage Mall. And I think it is about time for us to formally wrap the show and for us to squash down our hunger pains. What do you
Yes.
think, Matt Heiar?
That much closer to the weekend.
This has been a paid program. Advice and opinions expressed during the program are solely that of Heiar Insurance, not WBEV or Good Karma Brands.
All right.